I source from places that are corn and soy free fed. Now, what's interesting about this is there's a lot of different businesses, whether it's farms or ranches or things like that, that catch on to the newest trends. And now corn and soy free is one of those, things that are in people's minds. It's like that's all that matters. Where sometimes when you do take the corn and soy out of the feed, sometimes there's room to add other stuff that we don't really like. And so, or they'll add marigold or things like that to make the egg yolk more orange in the color. And sometimes a lot of people define that, the customer or anybody will define that as, oh, it's more nutrient dense. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the feed that you guys are, just trying to dial in, and also the results of it?
This has been a really hard egg year. Right.
Yes.
So in the beginning of the year, when our feed is corn and soy free, and our old feed supplier, we just kind of lost trust. We didn't really know, believe he was saying what he was putting in the feed was actually what he's putting in the feed. So very quickly, the egg farmers were like, we need to find a new feed supplier. So they did, and they're amazing because they were willing to meet with us and talk to us and be like, what do you want in the feed? And we had a lot of hard decisions to make, and one of them was, do we put marigold and paprika in the feed? The only reason marigold and paprika is added to chicken feed is to make the yolks orange. That's it. And the reason every egg farmer does it now. Even store-bought eggs, when they're yellow, they're making them yellow, right? They're making them consistent. And the reason why is the consumer wants consistency, and they want this orange yolk for pastured eggs. Decades ago, that's something that you would look for to prove that the egg was pastured before this adding color to feed was a thing. And the reason why is when hens are on pasture and they're eating greens, they're eating the carotenoid in the green, which then makes the yolk orange. So we removed that from the feed, and we had no idea what's going to happen. Our laying hens are outside. They're eating greens. They're on. You saw it, right?
Yes,
they're outside. And now we have some flocks where the yolks are orange and some flocks where the yolks are yellow, and it's very inconsistent. And our customer has been extremely confused. And we've been doing a lot of talking about it, a lot of education about it, because now we're producing an honest egg.
Right.
And I think that it's really great, and it gives the farmers a really good indication of what's going on, right? Where we were, those were yellow yolk eggs, and you can see the chickens weren't that interested in eating the greens in the pasture.
Right.
But the other farmer who's getting orange yolk eggs, he has a different diversity of plants. The plants are a different age, and the chickens are eating more of the green.
Right.
And so it gives them an indication of how can I do better.
Right.
Right. How can I encourage the chickens? What are you going to do differently next year? Do the chickens need to eat the greens? Are they healthy? Are they not healthy?
Right.
Gives them a better gauge of, it's an indicator,
Yeah.
of what the chickens are eating.
Right.
And that's really nice to have.
Yeah, and we chatted the other day too about how, well, if they are consistently that orange, I'm actually a little bit nervous because nature does not provide this consistent orange color through all the seasons, through all the different, locations, right?
Yes, yep. And matter of fact, the other reason we choose that feed provider is because we made an agreement with them that they will only use local grains from people that they know and trust.
Right.
Like there's this huge fraud organic grain scheme that seems to be happening all the time.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point too, because there's also a lot of farmers around that I highly respect too as well, that even though they may use corn in their feed, the omega ratio at the end of the day, because they are pasture raised, it's because I think it's a holistic approach too. How they're raised and how they're treated, are they getting enough sunlight, and then also the feed that is locally grown that's used, it still results in a very balanced omega ratio at the end, and then as well as, the phytochemicals and antioxidants, and a really just a nourishing egg and food for the consumer.
Yeah.
So I think it's a holistic approach, and you guys just definitely embody that from, like I said, from how you guys speak to your farmers and, kind of what you're asking and holding them accountable, and then they want to know and they want to grow with us too. So it's important to just have these conversations so that we can dive into the nitty-gritty of these conversations, as opposed to just tell me what color it needs to be. And
we can make it any color you want.
Right.
Yeah.
You can make it purple, I'm sure.
Yes, that's not the point here though, right? We're looking for a really nutritious egg. That's what we want.
Exactly.
Really healthy birds, healthy soil, healthy all of it. That's what we want.
Right.
One of the things that it made me think about, Erin, when you say they know the farmers that grow the grains for the feed, was what Daniel was telling us, the chicken farmer, about the alfalfa, and how he can see the health of the soil in the alfalfa. If it has a hollow stem, it's kind of like they're eating empty calories, versus if it has So it made me think about it's not just any wheat, it's not just any peas. When you know the farmer and you know they're doing things right,
Right.
you're gonna have a healthier nutrition on this level
Right.
that you don't normally think about it.
Right, I love that, and I, just short of me becoming a farmer myself to all things, chickens to eggs to milk to all these things. This is why I have these conversations with people like millers who do provide food for us, and what you guys seek out and how you want to continue to evolve. And if you know better, you always do better, and that's what my trust is in. Is farmers and ranchers, cowboys, wherever, west to east to north to south, of putting my trust in people like yourselves that are essentially going to be an extension of what I would do if I did it myself. So really appreciate you guys, just going to great lengths for all of this. It's been such a great, not only trip, but also experience as somebody who consumes your delicious food.